What's up, guys? I'm your host, Mike C. Squared, and this is One Giant Leap for Geeks. On today's show, we have a special guest, and she's going to help me review the Cloverfield Paradox. We're also going to talk about the trailers for Han Solo, Mission Impossible 6, Venom, and Avengers Infinity War. Also, over in Lightspeed, we're going to hit on how Tide has broken commercials forever. All right, passengers,
Hold on to your butts.
and prepare for landing.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks.
That I never wanted to go back. And I was little. I was like,
And how old were you during this?
the last time I went was last year, but previously it was like 5 or 6.
Because you sound like you were very traumatized
I-
by this at a very
I don't
young
know.
age. And
I don't know what my
you've
deal
never
is.
lived this down.
I don't know what the deal is with clowns, but I know that they're not
No.
my cup of tea.
No, we clearly know that you don't like them. That's what we've discovered.
It's so bad that Tyler likes the circus.
Oh,
And
no.
we-
He can't go because you
We have
ruined
been
it.
together for 5 years and we have never went to the circus because he knows that I'm afraid of clowns. No.
Okay, so I've been going for a while now.
That's
so,
cool.
All right. So I figured you'd get, your talks out early on. Okay, so, all right, this episode we have a special guest. It's one of my friends, Melissa. Say hi.
Hello, hello.
Okay, so you're going to join me today to do some reviews, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that happened during the Super Bowl and all that fun stuff, and also a bunch of other stuff that happened after that I was not planning on that I'm gonna have to jam in here at the end. I was not prepared for the amount of trailers that got dropped this week in general.
It's all right. We'll make it happen.
I mean, even before, because right before this, I had just did the Ant-Man, and yeah, it was like, Tomb Raider, that trailer had just came out like maybe a couple weeks before that, and like, it's been this big chunk coming up, but I guess, we're getting close to spring, so, it makes sense.
Well, 2018 will definitely be year of the good movies, so potentially.
It'll be a year of a lot of movies. How many of them turn out to be good is still yet to be seen. I'm still worried about a couple of them, because, yeah, we're gonna get there. All right. Anyway, first we're gonna do the review first. We're gonna go ahead and get that one out because I mean we've been kind of going and beating around this a little bit. We kind of went into it earlier, off mic, but I wanna definitely address this here.
I can see it's eating you alive.
It's important to me to get this out.
Mm.
No, it really is because you don't understand that Cloverfield has been a part of my adult life for a good chunk of it, and it is important to me. Okay.
Well, if it's important to you, then I take it seriously.
Okay, good. So all right. Let's give some background context. The Cloverfield Paradox movie is the third in the Cloverfield universe, I suppose. The first Cloverfield came out in 2008. The second movie came out in 2014?
14, I think.
Yeah, 14 or 15. Yeah, and then Cloverfield Paradox just came out on Super Bowl Sunday. They dropped the trailer, and it came out the same day after the game, which is, like, unheard of. Because we also talked about this as well off mic, that I was shocked at this move because it used to be months, or
Right,
a
up
year.
to a year.
Yeah, before you'd see a trailer, or before you'd see the movie when you'd first see the initial trailer. And, now they're getting it down to where Netflix is like, right now, like somebody made a joke somewhere that, with the Cloverfield movies that J.J. Abrams is just going to come throw a brick through your window with like a Blu-ray attached with the movie and just be like, Cloverfield 4, watch it. Like, oh shit. But yeah, basically, the synopsis of this one is there is a energy crisis on Earth. It's takes place in 2028, but technically, when we pick up with them, they've been up there for 2 years already, so it's technically 2030 when we're actually watching it. But whatever, semantics.
Right.
But there's an energy crisis, and the main character Ava. Ava, yeah, I believe her name is. She is part of a space crew that goes up into the space station called the Shepherd.
Yes.
And they are using a particle accelerator to try and make a new source of energy for Earth to replace the fossil fuels that they're fighting over. They say something about oil wars or something like that towards the beginning, and all that jazz. And during this experiment, they are real quick, spoilers. So if you haven't seen Cloverfield Paradox, it is on Netflix. Just watch it and then come back and listen to this. Okay. Yes, they get transported to another dimension, and chaos abounds. And from there is a lot of different things that come up, and they are basically trying to find a way to fix the particle accelerator that broke during the last experiment that transported them there, and get back home to Earth. Yeah. So what did you think about the movie?
Well, the initial Paradox movie I really enjoyed.
Oh, and as well,
in comparison
give them some context.
Okay, I had never heard of the Cloverfield series. Didn't know what it was about. Wasn't on my radar.
Because you've seen the second one.
I had saw the second one, and not realizing it was a series, trilogy, whatever you want to call it. And I just saw the second one as a nice psychological thriller with a crazy, weird alien thrown at the end of it.
Sure.
So then watching Paradox, kind of went backwards here, but that's okay. Watched Paradox, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm watching this Paradox movie, and I kind of have an idea of how this is playing out. Then, as the movie unfolds, the particle accelerator, I'm starting to catch on to things like, hey, they're being shot through space. I bet they went into a black hole, or they went into X, Y, and Z science shifts, whatever you want to call them. And so I watched this whole movie, and then they throw that random Cloverfield alien part in at the end.
Now, since you hadn't seen the first one, how did you take that upon first viewing? Because I've seen the Cloverfield movies from the beginning, and so I know all the lore and stuff behind this.
Right.
So since you hadn't seen the first movie, you had no connection to that monster. That didn't mean anything.
It didn't really mean anything because, like I said, the Cloverfield Lane, Lane.
Yeah.
I just took it as, okay, it's crazy guy in a bunker, and then bam, random alien.
Right.
Well, it's been months since I've seen this movie, and I didn't think much of it. It was like, yeah, it was a good movie, but it wasn't really something I'd, stick in my head. And so when I got to the Paradox movie, I'm watching this, and I'm thinking that the blonde was the alien, or that there was some kind of alien activity within the ship, not necessarily that it was the same Cloverfield aliens.
Sure, right. And as well, the aliens from 10 Cloverfield Lane have similarities, I guess, to the Cloverfield monster, but they're totally different. I mean, it's clear and obvious that they are aliens, and they're completely something different. So it's like when that happens, like you said, if you haven't seen the first Cloverfield, and that doesn't mean anything to you. Like they don't do anything to really connect it. It's so tangentially connected to each other that you don't really. They don't make a clear and obvious like this is what's happening. But okay, here's my problem. we wouldn't. I refused to talk to her about this leading up to this because I wanted to get like a fresh reaction out of the gate and know how she truly felt. And upon talking about it off mic, I fucking hated this movie and she liked it. She thought that it was okay. I hate it for a few reasons. Well, one, because I love the first Cloverfield, and two, because I was really disappointed with 10 Cloverfield Lane. I didn't like the fact that it was not connected to the first movie.
Uh-huh.
I felt cheated, and especially because I knew the background of how that movie got made, how it was called The Cellar, and it was something else before
Right.
it was called 10 Cloverfield Lane. They kind of added that ending on and just tied in some other things. It's like, oh, he what was the main character's name? John Goodman's character.
Peter,
yeah. That he was working for Bold Futura, which is a satellite company, which is one of the subsidiary companies of Tigerato, and that whole thing with the Slusho and all that shit.
Right, there was a lot left up for implications.
Right, exactly. So I was disappointed with that because I was like, well, okay, yeah, that's cool and all that, but where do the aliens fit into the monster from the first movie? Like, I'm thinking this is gonna tie into that, and y'all are bringing a whole other aspect into this. And with Cloverfield Paradox, they have basically thrown all that shit out the window, and it's just like, oh no, these are just gonna be anthology movies, and we're just gonna call them Cloverfield, but they really don't have anything to do with each other. But sure, why not? And we've ingeniously figured out this way to do whatever we want and just explain it away by saying, oh no, it was the particle accelerator, because when they spoil the movie at the very beginning and tell you like, oh, they can open up, tear the membrane of space-time and affect different dimensions and realities across, past, present, and future.
Right. They
spoil the whole twist of the movie and simultaneously can explain away anything they want to do going forward. But no, go ahead.
As long as they keep planting those minor Easter eggs, be like, oh, see, that was, this movie, or, you can go back to the first one or the second, the Cloverfield Lane.
Yes.
And be like, well, this was his bunker, so that obviously connects it.
Yeah.
And
which I kind of took that scene where the husband, the scene that we're talking about is when the husband, after he finds the little girl and talks to Peter and goes into his bunker from the second Cloverfield movie. I think that in this dimension there was no alien invasion. Like, this dimension has the Cloverfield monsters from the first movie, but not the aliens from the second movie. I think that the dimension that the aliens are... I think Cloverfield 2... Okay, so do you watch The Flash on CW?
No.
Okay, well do you know, like, about The Flash, kind of, sort of, from the comics?
Kind of, sort of,
yeah. You know, like, how he goes to, like, different... like realities of Earth, like there's Earth 1, Earth 2, or Earth 3. Right. Okay, think of it this way. The first Cloverfield is Earth 1. Mm-hmm. Cloverfield 2 is Earth 2. Mm-hmm. And Cloverfield 3 is Earth 1.
Okay.
So what happened in 3 affects 1 and 2, but 1 and 2, or 2 and 3 aren't a part of the same thing. 2 is its own universe separate from 1 and 3.
Right.
It's weird because it's like, well, they're affecting, like I said, they can just do anything now because it's like, oh, it's affecting other dimensions and other times. So it's like, oh, we can just make up any bullshit we want now, and you will just have to go with it because we've explained it away now.
Right. After watching all 3 of them, I can kind of look back and get some hindsight, and I can see maybe where there would be like a time shift, or something. I mean, you can kind of see it and looking back at all 3 movies.
Well, okay.
Like, the way that I'm looking at it is, if at 3 these monsters have not invaded the parallel 1,
Sure.
But they have invaded the parallel that...
In the second movie, yeah.
Right. It almost seems as if they were written out of order. So you have the first one, which is a different time era than the second one, which is a different time era from the third one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like the third one should have come first.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces of it.
Yes.
At least. And then you had the first one, and then possibly the second one.
Yeah, because it basically... No, you're exactly right. Cloverfield Paradox was pitched... It was sold like it was a prequel. Because in the trailer, it's like 10 years ago something happened.
Right.
Now find out what happened, or why, or whatever the fuck. You know, and it's like they are trying to convince you that this is a prequel to that movie, when in reality... This was a totally separate thing. Like, the shit that happens on the spaceship and with the particle accelerator and everything else has nothing to do with what's happening on Earth. Literally, the only things that mattered that happened on Earth was what we saw through the husband's eyes. You know, him as a character. He, on his experiences... That's how we tie it to Cloverfield, but she doesn't ever talk about monsters or anything like that. And then obviously at the very end when the monster pops up, and I guess it's implied that it eats the ship as it's coming down, or at least if it doesn't, I'm sure they're not gonna live much longer, because if there's shit like that down there, you know, now, because he's like, oh, tell them not to come back, tell them not to, you know?
Right.
And he was like, these monsters and shit, so it's like, it's implied that there's like more than one of these things. You know.
Yeah. Whereas in the first Cloverfield, there was one, and then it had the parasites that dropped off of it.
Right.
So how did we get from one monster and little tiny parasites to multiple monsters that are tearing apart the Earth?
Exactly.
And why is it that Ava did not, you know, that wasn't a main concern while she was going up into space?
Yeah, at no point do they ever communicate that to her, and then they explain that away, because they're like, oh, well, we just wanted to make sure that they got the accelerator, because, you know, they're worried about going to war with each other, which, honestly, if the monsters and shit are down there, y'all fighting over natural resources is the least of y'all concerns at this fucking point. You would think they would be coming together, because the big giant creature that's the size of fucking Mount Rushmore now, you know, is killing us. Like, at least with the other one, it was like...
Space Godzilla.
Well, at least with the first Cloverfield, it could be, you know, like Godzilla-ish size, about, you know, Eiffel Tower height, something like that.
Right.
This shit is in, like, the stratosphere. I'm like, this is, like... way bigger than that first monster. Which it was supposed to have been a baby, I get it, but I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, like, they wasn't playing that. Like, that was a baby compared to this other one. But it's, I'm glad that you brought up some of, like, the inconsistencies with, like, how the reality works and stuff like that, because I wanted to make sure I talked about this. Okay, so, this was my issues with the movie, though. But see, you still like the movie, though. But you do see that there are issues with it.
You like the first one, though.
Yes.
You love the first one.
Yes.
If I can, you know, use that word.
Yes.
I hated the first one. Absolutely hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And as, you know, I told you earlier off mic, if I would have come, or if you would have come to me and you would have said, hey, let's watch this series, this trilogy, whatever you want to call it, and you would have told me to start with the first one, I'd have turned it on and turned it off within 15 minutes. I would have looked at you like, no, there ain't no way in hell I'm watching that. Since I watched them out of order, unknowing that they were supposed to be together, my view on it is I can see where the connection comes in, but I wasn't expecting a connection from 10 Cloverfield to Paradox.
Sure.
And then back to the, you know, first one.
You kind of had a more
that's the
pure
order
experience.
that I watched.
Yeah, because you have no expectations of, oh, this is supposed to be a sequel to this.
Right. It's not like I'm sitting here watching the Avengers and I'm like, okay, well, there's Tony Stark and there's Thor and there's the Hulk, so I'm not expecting this.
So a lot of these
linkage.
little Easter eggs and references don't mean anything to you, because you're just like, okay, it's just things in the movie.
Right, and then you really don't. I really didn't see it until I had watched all three of them.
Right.
And then taking a step back, I'm like, well, that, clearly that was the guy in part 2. That's his bunker. And as soon as I saw the opening, the door opening, I knew. I was like, hey, that's from part 2.
Exactly.
That's from the Cloverfield Lane.
Right, but at that time, though, you didn't get the reference of the monster at the end.
Right. The monster at the end, you're just looking at it like, well, I thought this blonde bimbo on the
ship
thing
was some kind
or
of
something
alien,
like the worms.
Something. Yeah.
That was another thing. Why the fuck were there worms?
Okay, yes, okay. So all right. So this was the things that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so first, how many different realities actually bled together? Because like I said, there has to be at least 4 or 5 realities that have been affected.
Right.
We have Earth 1 prior to the Cloverfield monster appearing, okay?
Right.
Then we have whatever universe the Cloverfield monster comes from. So that's his dimension. Those are those 2.
Okay.
Then we have the second Earth in Cloverfield Lane before the aliens.
Right.
Then we have the universe that has the aliens that get sent there. Then we have in Paradox the Earth that has no Cloverfield monster from the first one. And then it does later, but I guess that is still the same Earth, just in the future. I guess that's the very first Earth before and after the Cloverfield monsters appear. Who fucking knows at this point? It's all just this convoluted bullshit. But beyond that, why are the physics different like this? There is no dimension that the people who were on the other shepherd that the blonde chick comes from,
correct,
that could survive the walls eating your arms and shit. Like, why would the particle accelerator and them being put in a different dimension do that?
Right.
It is implied that when they came there, they destroyed the other shepherd ship, and that's why it crashed and didn't work or whatever.
Wouldn't they just trade places though?
Well, yeah, kind of, and I guess that's kind of what's implied when she's in the wall and shit. It was like, she wasn't on that ship in this dimension, so instead of her switching with another person, it just tried to put her in the ship or whatever. I don't fucking know. Like, well, you would have been standing in this spot on the other thing, but you don't exist on this one, so you're in the wall now. Who knows?
Right.
But I don't know. But okay.
The worms coming out of the guy.
Yes. Okay.
How is that a?
Yes, because I wanted to say, why are they on the other side of the sun? If they wiped out the other station, shouldn't they just be floating over to Earth where the other station was? Because that's where they were in their dimension. Like, I don't know.
There's a lot of questions there.
Right. Okay, and then where does his arm go when it gets eaten? Like, it's not like it's just inside the wall like the chick was. It's gone. Like, the arm... And it was weird.
It disappears and then reappears.
Yeah, it's weird because it makes it seem like the wall is sentient, like it's attacking him. Because it's not just, he went through and it just chopped his arm off. Like, it's yanking him around and shit and dragging him. So it makes you think like, he's being attacked by something.
That's kind of why I got the feeling that the blonde was some type of alien. All these things changed when they went through the paradox, black hole, time shift, whatever you want to call it. And, you see it with the foosball table. You see it with the picture on the wall. You see it with her actually being in the wall.
And when the Chinese lady goes to try and get the moisture from the thing in the door, she gets locked in there, and then the door, the pressure breaks, and she gets frozen. Which that I will say, if there was one thing about this movie I did like, that scene was
that was pretty cool scene.
I had never seen like a death like that before, so that was cool.
It kind of reminded me of Final Destination.
Yeah,
where the death character was making things happen.
Yes, it was like something was like after them.
Right.
Like,
not necessarily an explanation or a thing or a being. It reminded me a lot of the Final Destination movie where death was after them and bad accidents just happened.
Yep.
So the guy's arm getting chopped off, death was, or the ship was trying to get them. Yeah. The ship was getting the Chinese girl because there was a malfunction in the...
I'm nodding profusely. You can't see this, but yes, I'm nodding.
Yes. that's just what the feeling had for it.
And I thought it would be something with the ship had somehow become sentient or something, but my deal is, regardless of why it took his arm or where his arm went, you know, and why did it come back, why is it alive?
Right.
Why does they do Morse code and it wants to write?
Right.
And then beyond that, why does it know that the gyroscope is in the Russian guy? Why is the gyroscope in the Russian guy? Was he standing where the gyroscope was in the other dimension, so when it just bled together, it just put it in his body?
Right.
Then if that's the case, why are the worms inside of him as well? Because they make it a point to say the worms are gone, and then it's like, you know, you find out that they're in him. Why is his eye all crazy and shit? Who is he talking to when he's in the mirror, you know, right before he goes and 3D prints the gun?
Mm-hmm.
And where does he get the schematics to make the gun? It was
what's the point of having the gun?
Well,
I mean, other than
he makes it, you know, to threaten the German dude, because remember, he thinks that Schmidt is a spy and that he's purposefully not making the ship work.
So
which you find out in the other dimension that they do travel to, he was a spy because they find all the shit on the computer. And he's like, I didn't do that.
That leads back to the ship being in control of something.
Yeah, like it was setting this shit up.
Setting it up to where he's got, there's the German, he's a spy, here's his messages, you know, like I said, it knocks out the Chinese chick, it possesses the Russian guy. If you see with his eye, you can kind of see him play with his eye in that movie.
Yeah.
And when he's talking to somebody,
he's always fucking with his face.
It's under the assumption that he's talking to who's ever shifted into him.
Right.
Or he's been possessed by something.
Right.
Once you see the things crawling in him, it makes sense that, okay, first of all, the worms were aliens to begin with. They were some kind of baby from Earth that they brought into space with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the ship comes alive, because in different alien movies, we've seen aliens do a very expansive realm of anything.
Sure.
So, you know, in Independence Day, they manipulate the vocal cords and they can do all kinds of things. So it would be a better assumption to say...
Which is ridiculous, but still...
That's another topic for another day. But
he's like, you kill me.
Right.
Some shit, yeah.
But it would be a safer assumption to say, hey, these worms are part of some kind of alien race.
Mm.
No real reason for them to be there in space to begin with.
Yeah,
unless they're trying...
The only thing I was thinking, it was they were either doing experiments on them in space, or maybe they were like Did you ever see that movie, The Arrival?
No.
Okay. Well, there's a thing where like a spaceship lands and they go in there and they're trying to communicate with the aliens inside, but they don't speak a language. But anyway, they bring birds into the ship with them, kind of like an alarm system, because like the birds have like more heightened senses than, you know, we do.
Okay.
And they're like more sensitive to certain things. So like if something's going wrong, they'll start freaking out and they'll be like, okay, it's time to go.
Right. Animals have usually been they did that in the first one with the rats.
Yeah.
Where they're running in the subway.
Yes. It's like early warning.
You know, hey, they're running and they're all running in the same direction. Maybe we should probably follow them. That was something that really irked me about that first one. Okay. It was 2008.
Sure. Okay.
We just got our smartphones in 2008.
Oh, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even the first smartphones had a flashlight.
Yeah.
Okay. So why did the dude have to use night vision to see the things? And secondly, if you see a pack or a herd of something running in the same direction, you should probably follow them and not ask questions.
Yeah.
That was. So when they get attacked in the subway, you're just like, you're the dumbass that didn't follow. You know, everybody knows that animals have these crazy instincts, and so
right, it's like no matter what the scenario is, if I see a grizzly bear running away and not at me from something else, then I'm probably going in the direction he's going. Because if he's scared, then I'm scared than a motherfucker.
Right.
So.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, just in general, I mean, you liked it more for like the body horror and the science fiction stuff, and if they would have cut out all the Cloverfield shit, you would have liked it as a better movie. And I think so would I too.
The Paradox.
Yeah. I think overall it's not a bad movie. It's mediocre.
Right.
I just don't like it because I don't like what they are doing with the franchise or what they're specifically doing with,
right.
You know,
you like
trying
it
to
from
explain it away.
Right, you like it from a fan standpoint, whereas...
Or I don't like it from a fan standpoint,
Same concept.
Yeah, because I enjoyed the first movie, and I want a sequel to that. I mean, hey, say what you will about 10 Cloverfield Lane. I know a lot of people like that movie. It's fine as a bottle film, but it's not a Cloverfield sequel. Stop calling these fucking movies Cloverfield. Don't pretend like you had this idea to make this anthology from the get-go. Like, the only reason you plastered that name on Cloverfield Lane was because you wanted people to see that movie, and you know that if you use that name, they're making a sequel to that movie? Like, everybody, a lot of people, not everybody, likes that movie.
Honestly, you probably could have just slapped Bad Robot and J.J. Abrams on it, and, fine. It's like M. Night Shyamalan. You just... Mm-hmm. You know what to expect from him. You know he's had some crappy ones. You know he's had some good ones. You go in this with I'm still not a grain of salt, and you just kind of, all right, let's see if this is a hit or not. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing with J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I mean he just made. I mean, say what you will about The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and all that, but I mean he just came off of a high note of making a Star Wars movie, so anything you put his name on, they would be like, oh, I want to go see that.
Right.
Like, you don't need to, pander to people with all this Cloverfield bullshit. Stop pretending.
They did that with Spielberg in the beginning. He started out doing a couple mediocre films, and then he started throwing his name on stuff on everything.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, okay, it's Spielberg. I get it. He's the greatest.
Well, I mean, he did make Jaws first, though.
He had some minor movies.
Yeah, true. What? I don't know.
Not very well known.
I was gonna say I don't fucking care about it.
right. I was just using it as an example.
Sure.
You can use J.J. Abrams' name and not need the Cloverfield name.
No, you don't need to try and sell it on that
until you can get a comprehensive.
Yes.
You should start if you're gonna make sequels, and I have issues with prequels, anyways. Because prequels kind of go back, and then it feels like an afterthought, and like they're trying to scramble.
Right, and fill in blanks, and it kind of ruins the original stories, because a lot of times it's the things that you don't know about something that makes it good. Right. And then once that's why I think so many people don't like the Star Wars prequels, is because Darth Vader isn't as cool when you see him as an 8-year-old kid, pod racing and shit, and Jar Jar Binks is, and I built R2D2 and C-3PO and all this other shit, and it's just like, okay, like.
But if you're gonna make a sequel, continue with where you left off.
Yes.
And if you're gonna jump.
If you're gonna do some other shit, then do some other shit. Call it The Cellar, call it God Particle, which is what this was called before they changed it to a Cloverfield movie.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna say start with the first Cloverfield, then leave off where the Cloverfield ends and start the sequel, either right following or say 10 years later, and kind of give an explanation what happened. The monsters took over, or
they come back.
Or they leave, or
it could have been like Pacific Rim or some shit. Anything like they had built big giant robots to fight them. It's anything like but don't just go like, oh yeah, this is a movie about this dude kidnapped this bitch and they in the bunker, and this is Cloverfield 2. The fuck it's not. No, it's and they in space, and the arm
eats,
the wall eats your arm, and then worms come out your face, and
and you got a big metal ball in your belly
for no goddamn reason.
I think that's it.
Yeah, like, I'm done with that damn movie. But I will say, like, I just recently got caught up all the way current to where Rick and Morty is. Just finished the 3rd season, and Rick and Morty does a much better job with the concept of multiple universes and realities and different dimensions and time and stuff like that. They had some cool concepts in this, but they never expanded on it. They kind of touched on things, but it was too busy trying to be a little bit of too many other movies. It was trying to be too many things, and it felt like nothing at the end. To me,
I've never seen Rick and Morty, so I'll take your word for it.
She's all right. Yep, I love it. Well, or Back to the Future, like you know, like they did a much better job giving you like these what if and alternate futures and shit like that. Sure. This shit, it's just like, what is happening? Who is she talking to? Why does she want? Oh, but no, you never brought up, and I know you want to hit this, and then I promise we're done with this.
Oh, the blonde referencing Ava's family?
Yes, and Ava wanting to go... Like, how does that work?
Yeah, that was my...
This is not Full House. You can't be the Uncle Jesse of this shit.
Right. That was my biggest issue with Paradox. Is when they were shifted into the Paradox, there is another Ava, but she's not in space.
Yep.
So the
she's
blonde...
with her family.
The blonde that is found in the wall, and they have to cut out... recognizes Ava, but Ava doesn't recognize her.
Sure.
So on Earth 1, they are not friends. They do not know each other. They have no idea who they are. In this second Earth, Ava doesn't go into space. She's at home with her family, her children that are dead, and her husband that are in, turmoil because they lost their children, but whatever.
Sure.
And Ava has the brilliant idea that she is going to go back to Earth with the blonde
to save her children who died in her dimension,
be there for them and raise them and take care of them.
Well, because she feels guilty because in her dimension,
her children are gone.
Feels like she killed them because she put some kind of power cell in the house to give them energy, and it caught on fire.
Neither here nor there, but what's she gonna do with the other Ava that's on Earth? On this Earth too?
Yeah.
What is she gonna do? She's just gonna show up after the news has said that her ship has exploded that she wasn't on, and just come up to their house and be like, "Hey, by the way, I'm here. These are my kids. That's my husband.
Don't put this battery in the house. It'll kill everybody. And hey, I'm living here now." Like, but I was hoping that they were gonna do something.
Feed her off to the monsters.
Yeah, dark with it. Like she was gonna go down there and kill the other Ava and take her place.
Right.
Like, how was that gonna work? And they could have did something interesting with that, which honestly is what I kind of think what this movie was and what the point of it was going to end up being, because it doesn't really take that turn until the very end where she tries to. Where the blonde knocks Ava out and turns on her and doesn't get on the escape pod. I got a feeling there's a cut of this movie somewhere out there where they go down to that planet and she kills the other fucking Ava and lives on as her.
It's a deleted scene somewhere.
Cause this shit with the monster jumping out at the end, it was like, okay, what did that have to do with anything? Like, you've already played your hand at the beginning and told us that that this movie, what they're doing with the particle accelerator is why the monster appears. Like, you've already told us that at the very beginning.
Right.
And you've already peppered throughout the whole movie that the monster is attacking the city and all this other kind of stuff. And at the very end, he's like, don't come back, there's monsters here. You didn't need to show us that shit at the end, but I feel like they changed the ending to just make sure, like, this shit is part of Cloverfield, goddammit. Like, or we gonna make this square peg fit in this round hole no matter what. But I'm
done.
Yeah, fuck this movie. Anyway, okay, so I wanted to talk about the Avengers Super Bowl spot.
Okay.
Now, this didn't give us as much more than what we had got from the first Avengers in Infinity War teaser trailer. This kind of was just like the next couple seconds after the same scene that we had already saw. It was like, because you could be like, in the last trailer he stopped mid-punch, and then now in this trailer he completes the punch. It's like it doesn't give you a whole lot more.
The point of it it's not really clear.
Yeah, but I mean, there were some things that we saw in it. Iron Man, Spider Man, and Doctor Strange. At the beginning, it looks like they're in some kind of ship or something. Like they're like looking up at something, and I love like that's why I really love that they made it a point to get a young actor to play Peter Parker because I am so happy to get to see him be like that wide-eyed kid amongst all these like adults, because he's literally like the fanboy of the Marvel universe.
Right,
he's a superhero himself, but he's a fucking fanboy for the rest of the heroes.
Of course, he grew up watching all of.
Right, exactly.
He lives in the world where Iron Man's been there.
Yes, yes.
And
the Hulk,
Captain
Thor,
America,
Captain America, yes, all
they've
these
all
people.
been there, and so then when he gets his powers and he's Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gets to be a part of that now.
Right.
But he still has that, admiration for them as a fan.
He still looks at him as
like
a fan.
A peer,
Right.
But I love that they got a younger, actor for that because when they're looking around and stuff, he just looks so, deer in the headlights, and it's like I am way in over my head with this shit. And then later in the trailer, they show a shot of him on that big. I don't know if it's a lot of people have been speculating like that's how Thanos comes to Earth. Is it some kind of portal that opens up in that big circle thing and they come through that? He's on that, and they show him take his mask off, which. I mean, it's a Spider-Man movie. He's gonna take his mask off at some point. I know people complain about that shit, but I'm like, he does it in every fucking movie. He's all the way back to Tobey Maguire. He's always gonna do that shit. So just get if that's your problem, you just go always.
It's almost to the point where we knew Tony Stark was Iron Man off the get go.
Yeah,
you know that. Yeah, Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Right, and I mean, and it's not like he's in a bunch of in front of Jesus fucking Christ, in front of a bunch of people, before he does it. He's on the thing, and the camera angle kind of shows you like Manhattan down below him, and he seems to be much, much higher in the air than he was, in the last trailer where he's in a different costume too.
Sure.
Because in the first trailer, he's in that new like costume that Tony makes for him that he turned down at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming. He's in his costume from Civil War and from Homecoming. He didn't switch into the other one yet. So I'm like, does he get on it while it's still in the air and then it comes down and then he's like, fuck, I can't do this, and then Tony gives him a new suit.
Could be.
And he goes back to try and, stop it. Who fucking knows? But you were gonna say something.
I don't even know.
Okay. That's totally fine.
It happens.
No, you're fine. What else did I want to say? They have a shot where we see Cap, Black Widow, Bucky, and injured looking.
Can I take
Vision?
a second? Why is Black Widow a blonde? I saw that and I was like, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah, it's not that. I mean, don't get me wrong, because I love her red hair, loud, but I don't mind her being a blonde. It's that she dyed her eyebrows blonde.
Right.
Too. That's what's
right.
Weird. I don't like that shit, and I'm like, ugh.
She wanted the whole. That whole carpet matching the drapes thing. She wanted the carpet lines, the curtains, everything. She wanted it all to match.
Right. It's all gotta be the trim from head to toe. Yeah. I'm not.
I don't know.
She looks like powder. It looks like... It makes her look like she doesn't have eyebrows, and it throws it off with the hair because it's so blonde,
and
like
she's
platinum.
So pale.
Yeah, it's not a good look. She shouldn't have.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
No.
I went off on my Black Widow tangent.
No, but that's fine.
That's
but we see Cap, Black Widow, Bucky, and Vision going into back to the Avengers compound. And I wonder if that's like after the scene where we see them trying to take the stone from Vision.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Because in the first trailer, they when they do the whole thing of Black Panther, he's like, get that man a shield. Like when they show Cap come out the shadows,
Right.
like right before that, one of Thanos's guards or whatever, I don't remember what they're called, uh the Black Order, I think is what they're called.
Sounds right.
Yeah, see, and they're like Thanos' henchmen or whatever. They throw that spear at Cap and he catches it before he comes out of the shadows. I think that's the same scene that they're trying to steal the stone from Vision, and that Cap shows up to save him.
Right.
And then in this trailer that we just got during the Super Bowl, when they're walking into the compound, you can barely see Vision in the back, and he's kind of holding his side and like limping like he's hurt. I think that they saved him from being killed during that, and they are coming back to the Avengers compound to kind of team up with Tony and combine.
Right.
Again, because I mean, you got to remember they're still separate since Civil War. You know, they've still been, because in the Ant-Man trailer, like he's on probation or house arrest now.
Yeah, he gets
from that. Yeah, that's why the FBI is at his house and all that shit. Not, plus with all the shit that he did in his own movie, he was all in trouble with the feds and all that in Ant-Man 1. But yeah. Anyway, so that's my theory. I think
it kind of looked like they were coming back to maybe make amends with Tony, or
and they're gonna have to. I mean, because there's no way in hell they're gonna be able to do this. But I mean, right now it does kind of seem like they do have kind of separate little teams where it's
Tony side versus Cap side.
Right. Tony has, Doctor Strange and Hulk and Spider-Man and whatnot. And, Cap has Black Panther and Vision and Black Widow and yada yada. But then we also see in the very first Infinity War trailer, Natasha talking to Bruce while he's working on the Hulkbuster. So they must come together at some point, probably by the time they all get to Wakanda. I'm imagining that everybody who... I hope somebody fucking important dies in this, because there has to be some stakes. Like, I don't want my characters to die that I like, but they gotta kill off somebody. It's like, if you're gonna make Thanos like the big villain that we've been 10 years in the making building up to, you gotta kill fucking somebody. Like, so, and don't make it some shit like the first Avengers and it's like, no, Coulson. Like, come on, y'all, stop playing. Didn't nobody fucking give a fuck about Coulson. I'm like, fans might have here and there might have liked Coulson, but I don't too much think anybody was losing sleep about him being killed. I mean, and then they felt so bad about killing Coulson. They're like, oh, we'll give you a show, too. Now you got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That...
Never mind how you ain't dead, but sure.
Goes back to the whole jumping parallels thing. Like, oh, it's back in time because Coulson may be dead or he may not be dead. We're not going to go there.
Yeah,
Let's not go there.
Yeah. And I don't even watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. anyway.
I don't
you
either.
ain't got to worry about
I
that
watched
shit.
maybe 2 episodes of it, and I'm like, what is this shit?
I never even started it. I was like, oh, the Avengers aren't in the show? Oh, they might be? Okay, well, let me know what episode they do, and I'll watch that one. But I'm good. I don't need to see the Office version of, the Avengers. Like, I'm good.
These nobody people that you're just like, who are you and why are you important?
Right.
How did you get a show? Like,
we don't necessarily know Captain America per se, but we work for the same people. Fucking no.
Yeah, I don't need all that.
But then later, we also see Iron Man bursting through one of Doctor Strange's spells.
Yep.
He's doing some kind of thing, and Iron Man kind of flies through. And theory, I think it might be when they confront the Hulk, because we see the Hulk like crashes into Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum or whatever from the first trailer. So maybe Doctor Strange, like, he didn't know who the Hulk was. This is your first meeting. He was going to try and attack him. And,
could be.
Iron Man's breaking through like, no, don't,
Hold on.
Yeah. Or it could be because Tony's Tony and he's a dick. He's like, oh, fuck your magic shit. Because I got a feeling him and Doctor Strange are going to bump heads because Tony going to be like,
absolutely.
oh, motherfucker, you got this magic and shit, like whatever, you know, like he.
Especially since Tony's all about science.
Right, and plus,
and
they're both arrogant characters because Doctor
really
Strange was an arrogant, you know.
Was.
A lot of people that was kind of their complaints about the Doctor Strange movie was that he was kind of too much like Tony Stark, and it's like, well, y'all kind of got the similar beard going on, and you know,
they really did.
And these cocky, like, you know, like rich dudes and shit. Now, granted, he's a surgeon.
Right.
Yeah.
If you ever read the comics, though, they were very similar in personality.
True. I mean,
it could just be that, hey.
And you know, and a lot of times people bring that kind of shit up. I'm like, you gotta keep in mind, like, these characters were written like 50, 60 fucking years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You know, some even longer than that. So it's like, come on, man. Like, this they weren't doing very deep character development at that time when they were coming up with these characters and these stories. It's like, come on. Like, for as far as we've come with it now, just be glad it is what it is at this point, because it could have been a lot fucking worse.
Could have been awful. At least, you know, we as fans continue to watch, anticipate, you know, we love the characters, we go see their individual movies, we go see their mashup movies that you want to call, you know, the Avengers, whatever.
Sure. Team-ups.
The team-ups, that's team-ups, that's a better word.
Sure.
And we still look forward to them. We still get excited about them.
Mm-hmm.
Had these characters not worked, and they would have...
And they could have very well not have, because these are, like, they're C-list, you know, people. Like, it wasn't like, because, you know, Fox had, you know, X-Men and Fantastic Four. Yep. Sony had Spider-Man. Like, they A-list people already loaned out.
Right.
You know, Marvel had to go to, like, Hulk was, like, their biggest character, really, that they had, like, as far as comic book goes. And that, neither one of those movies did really all that great. Nobody gave a fuck about Iron Man before the first Iron Man movie came out.
No.
Like, nobody was reading Iron Man comics like that. Like, no. He had a cartoon show. I never watched that shit. He wasn't no Spider-Man or no Batman in the animated series. So it was like, who the fuck?
Wasn't the X-Men animated series?
With no Digimon. Fucking no Iron Man. What the fuck is this bullshit? But yeah, you know, I'm like, but Robert Downey Jr., he took that character and he breathed life into him and he made him into something.
Well, same with Captain America.
Yeah. I mean, God. Chris Evans is like a goddamn god.
That first Captain America come out and I'm like, who the hell is Captain America?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was that irrelevant that even somebody who likes comics and likes superheroes, you're sitting there like, the hell is this?
Right.
You know, and after that first one, I was a little shaky. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be a thing. And then the next two come out, and I'm like, holy shit, this is Chris Evans. Where's he come from?
Well, because at that time, it was really, and we're totally not even talking about the trailer anymore. But, I mean, it was only 30 seconds. It doesn't give you a whole lot. Like I said, it's only like a couple snippets, extra more seconds after. But, you know.
I guess we'll have to keep an eye out for different scenes portrayed on a trailer to, you know.
Well, that's what I kind of do. I like watch each progressive one and they start showing a little bit more of each one. I start trying to kind of piece together, okay, where does this happen at in the movie? I think this happened with this scene. Right. This is what's going on here. So, I mean, little by little. But, I mean, we got a couple more trailers and one that I really want to talk about. So, we can be done with this. But thoughts, on the trailer overall? Looks yay, nay, excited?
I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay.
So
good.
we'll hope to see more good things. Like I said, watch different parts of different trailers and go from there.
Like I said, I'm excited. I've been in since Iron Man 1. Like they had me.
Oh yeah.
At hello.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I've been with it from the get go and waiting to see where all this goes. But again, they gotta kill somebody important. Gotta die. I don't necessarily have to be Iron Man or it doesn't have to be Captain America, but they can't pull a Coulson again. Like they have to kill someone important.
Well, there's theory that it might be Hulk.
Really?
I was on a Batman board, and this is gonna go way off your trailer.
Sure.
I was on a Batman board, and there was talk of Mark Ruffalo being Batman, taking Affleck's place.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was mixed. It really was mixed. I was reading the comments. half of them said yeah, and half of them's like, no, that's the Hulk. And
Yeah, I mean, he does do a good Bruce Banner, but I couldn't.
I don't see him being the Dark Knight.
Yeah,
I was on the no side of that. I didn't.
I think he could pull off the Bruce Wayne.
Right, right. But
I just
not
don't
Batman.
buy him as, like, yeah, like the intimidating. Like,
Right.
And I mean, maybe, you. Honestly, though, you get anybody to work out and get in shape like that and put them in the costume.
Sure.
You could make fucking Donald Trump look fucking dope as hell as Batman.
No,
But
you can't.
Oh, God,
but
that's like nightmare
let's
fuel.
not go there.
That's nightmare fuel.
Yeah, let's not go there.
But okay. I want to jump
anyways,
off
that
shit.
was a possibility. Rumor on the dartboard is that they're killing Mark Ruffalo out of the Marvel movies, putting him in the DC movies. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
And I really hope that it doesn't cross.
No, I wouldn't want that to happen, but no.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna kill
We'll just have to hope for that, or hope against that.
If anything, I want them to make him perma-Hulk.
Yeah.
Like he just be Hulk all the time and never revert back to Bruce again. Because they kind of seem like that might be where it's going after Thor Ragnarok. Like what happened with that. You know,
yeah, it could
He's
be.
all like, I'm afraid if I turn in, I might not be able to come back to,
Could be.
So yeah. But anywho.
I'd much rather see that.
Yeah.
So, how about those craziness that happened during the Super Bowl? Those commercials?
Oh, the
those Tide commercials?
Yes, the Tide commercials. Yes. Okay. So with with wait, hang on.
Or did we have another trailer that we
wait, I think no, yeah. Oh, goddamn, you jumped way ahead. Hang on. No, but we are going to talk about Tide. So, get ready to get your pizza toppings ready, kids, cuz we're talking about Tide Pods. Yum. No, I want to talk about two more trailers. Three, actually. The third one is gonna probably be a quick one because I'm not really all that jazzed about this movie. The Han Solo trailer. It looks like, and I mean literally looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean like it looks like it's going to be a good movie.
Right.
It just aesthetically has a good look to it.
Right.
I, don't really know. It seems like it's going to be like a heist film. Woody Harrelson's character, Harrelson? I don't know. Never mind. We're not going to bother, and we have no way to find out. So,
to the internet.
Right.
Anyways.
Yeah, he's like, I'm putting a team together, or a crew or whatever. So it seems like it's going to be like a heist movie, which that's totally fine. I don't have a problem with what the premise is. I just don't necessarily, I'm not really feeling the guy that they got to play Han Solo.
Really?
There's just something about the inflection of how he's delivering the lines, or it's something, I don't know, it's just something that just feels off about him. Like the part where at the end where he was like, I thought we were in trouble there for a minute, but we're fine. I was like, he feels
kind of had a Captain Kirk feel to it.
Yeah, he feels weird. I don't know what it is. He doesn't feel like, and I mean, no one's gonna be able to really do without it turning into a fucking parody of itself. Harrison Ford, Han Solo, but I don't know. I mean, and I just need to see more of it, I guess, and maybe see more the whole movie to see like how he bridges the gap between what Harrison Ford did with that character and what he's trying to do with it, because I don't feel like he's meeting me in the middle of nowhere with this right now. I'm like, I feel like he's kind of way off on this end of the spectrum. I'm like, I don't necessarily like what you're doing right now. But what did you think about it? What did you think? I mean, and how do you feel about Star Wars in general?
I'm actually not a fan of Star Wars at all.
Oh.
But like you said, aesthetically pleasing would be a good. I mean, I looked at it and I immediately knew that it was Star Wars.
Right.
Have never been a Star Wars fan.
Mm-hmm.
and I can look at it and be like, oh hey, they made another Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Hope it goes well.
Yeah.
Especially since Harrison Ford is Han Solo, and you have this big, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at me all crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Just making
No,
sure.
I'm thinking about what I want to say after you. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Harrison Ford's such a big person's shoes to fill. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Han Solo is a very big role.
Yes.
And I think that if they don't nail, if this kid doesn't nail it,
yeah,
it could put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth.
Especially coming off of The Last Jedi, because a lot of people, it's a very, divisive movie. I know some people like it. I know I personally did not like it, but, it's divisive, and this is kind of a tumultuous time for, Disney and Star Wars, so they need to, I guess they feel like they're putting this out, like, this is the safe bet, like, oh, okay, if we put out a Han Solo movie, this will keep the fanboys at bay, and they'll just eat up whatever. It's Han Solo. They're going to love this shit. But, a lot of people don't like this actor, Alden Ehrenreich, or whatever his name is. Like, he just, I don't know, there's just something that seems off about him. There was, like, rumors that they had to get an acting coach on set during the movie.
Okay.
They fire the original directors. It were the guys who directed the Lego movie.
Okay.
And I think, like, 21 Jump Street as well, maybe. But because they were saying like they were making it too comedic and we're just improvising and wasn't really
I
going
can
off
see
the
where
script.
that would rub some people the wrong way.
Yeah, because it's like you don't want to make it into a fucking comedy. Han Solo's comedic, but
right, he's comedic. But correct me if I'm wrong, the whole Han Solo persona is not.
No,
it's not meant to be a comedy.
Not per se, no. He's like that. He's just like that cool, too cool for school type,
I mean, you have the guy that cracks the jokes, but
sure, right. He'll say comedic things and be in like funny situations, but it's not like this slapstick comedy or just a bunch of wisecracking puns and just all that kind of stuff.
Right,
like,
21 Jump Street. That was.
Or like the Lego movie.
Yeah,
like,
Lego movie. That was
a lot of like references and metaphor humor and visual gags and stuff like that. And Han Solo was never about that. And so they fired them and then brought on Ron Howard, and he reshot a lot of the movie and it's been rewritten. And so yeah, it's been going through like kind of production hell for a bit, and we've not seen anything from this. Like that trailer that came out during the Super Bowl is the first thing we've seen for this movie, and it comes out in March. This shit comes out in like 3 months, or March or April, or whatever I think it said Labor Day.
Labor Day?
Yeah, and that's in March, right?
No, Labor Day's in May.
Or whatever. Yes, yeah.
It's the end of May.
Yeah. Because Infinity War and the Star Wars movie is coming out in the same month. I was like, god damn.
Anyway, still, even May's only 4 months away.
Yeah, still
3 months away.
Yeah, 3-4 months away.
3, because God, we're in February.
Yeah.
But maybe their production team and their, what is it that you call?
Director?
I'm having a blank. No, your marketing team.
Yes.
Their marketing team needs to get on the ball and.
A lot of people think that they are doing this on purpose, though. They think that they've been hiding it because they think that Disney knows that. Some people online have a theory that Disney knows that this movie's not going to be good.
Okay.
And that they're just going to dump it out, and they've been trying to kind of hide it from people because they know that even though they changed directors and everything else and reshot a bunch of it, they just don't think that they cast the right person or that the movie will be received well. They think it's gonna flop, and that's why they're not worried about releasing it so close to Infinity War and everything else, because they don't care if it doesn't make money.
Well,
and I don't necessarily know if I subscribe to that theory per se, but I do think it's kind of suspicious that they're waiting until right before. Hell, look at Venom. Look at that movie comes out in October.
Right.
So look at how far out, we're seeing the trailer for that movie.
Absolutely.
As opposed to Han Solo, which comes out in May, and we are just now seeing anything
Yeah,
like they hadn't
a
even
little
put out
30-second blurb.
yeah,
about-
like posters or really anything for this movie, and it's just like, geez, like what the fuck? What are we supposed to be getting excited around? You know?
Maybe they're still trying to tweak it. You know,
Maybe.
you know how they do that every once in a while. They'll be working on a movie, and
Post production and
yeah,
stuff.
right,
Yeah, I
right.
get it. Special effects and all that. Like, yeah, I get that. I mean, which
it doesn't always work in their favor, but
right.
maybe that's what they're doing because they have this theory that maybe it won't work out. So they're like, oh well, how can we tweak this or how can we tweak that to fix it and maybe make it a little bit better, especially coming off the heels of the other one that just, what was the name of the other one that came out? The previous one. The Rogue One or
yeah. Well, no, The Last Jedi. Was the very
okay.
last one.
Yeah.
I mean, Rogue One was the last spin-off movie, but people didn't really too much care for that either.
Right.
So
that's what I mean. They had The Last Jedi that didn't do as well as they were expecting. They didn't have the. They had
it
Rogue
made a
One.
lot of money and it got a lot of critical praise, but the fans.
Yeah, but fan-wise.
Yeah.
I know Rogue One didn't do what they were expecting it to do.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what they're trying just to preemptively
kind of brace themselves for,
right.
Not necessarily a flop, but just like it not meeting up to expectations. It has a great cast. I like everybody that's in it. I mean, besides Alden Ehrenreich, I don't really know much about him. I haven't watched anything that he's ever been in before this. But it looks good. It has like I said at the beginning, it's aesthetically, it's very nice looking, but it just something seems off about the way he's delivering his lines, and I don't know. He just seems generic. There's nothing about him that makes me go like, oh, I'm excited to see more of this character.
right.
And that's important if you're gonna make a movie about Han Solo, because he's supposed to be charismatic and just
Yeah. Han Solo.
right. Somebody
you
that you
say
want to
that.
follow. He's like a space gunslinger. He's
Right.
a space cowboy and all that.
I'd say he's the Clint Eastwood of space.
Sure.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I don't necessarily know if I want to.
Okay, let's not go.
Yeah,
all
like,
kind of people be like, no, that's it.
Clint Eastwood.
They'll be messaging you later. I'll be like, get this
Right.
bitch off of your show, off your podcast. Don't ever bring her
God.
back.
The Mel Gibson of space. Like, oh no, that's not much better.
We don't want to go there. Let's just not go there because we're gonna have people hating both of us.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I mean, I didn't ask for this. I don't necessarily want a Han Solo movie, but I mean, it looks whatever. We'll see. It can be good. I'm more so looking forward to Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian than
Yeah, that's gonna be
anything with Han Solo.
That's gonna be something to look forward to.
Yeah. He feel like he's channeling some Billy D vibes pretty hardcore there. So I'm like, I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, there's one more special trailer that I wanted to talk about. So apparently there's a Venom movie, and apparently there is a trailer for supposed said Venom movie.
Okay.
And supposedly Venom is in this supposed said trailer to the supposed Venom movie that's being made, but I didn't fucking see the motherfucker. So what the fuck did I just watch for like a minute and a half or 2 minutes or however long this damn trailer was?
It's I know what you're talking about. I saw the Venom trailer, and it's kind of like an inner monologue that Tom Hardy's having.
Real quick, sidebar.
Wait, did we see the same Venom trailer?
Yeah, it's just the one. Yeah, there's just the...
Okay, just make sure.
Oh, trust me. When I first saw it, I thought it was like some fan made shit. Like somebody had took some clips from some other movies and
he's
pieced
all
them together.
Spazzing out.
Yeah, because I'm like, this don't even seem like when they have two shots where they're walking behind him with the camera, and he's kind of like going into this store and just walking down the streets of San Francisco, whatever. It looks like. Did you ever see Warrior?
Yeah.
With him fighting his brother and all.
Right.
It felt like there were scenes from that movie when he's walking around and that and shit. And I'm just like, he's supposed to be a reporter, and this nigga look like he beat the fucking shit out of you in an alley or some shit.
He looks like some darknet boxer.
Right, I'm like, he's supposed to be just a regular dude in this, but I'm like, all right, sure. I mean, yeah, granted, Eddie Brock is supposed to be big and like he lifts weights and all that shit, but I mean, I don't know. It's just like the way he's carrying himself. It's very, I don't know. It seems weird juxtaposed to like I'm a reporter, like like yeah, are you though?
Bust out with
He's like, what's the fucking story? Like,
bust out with the camcorder and some glasses, then we'll talk.
But the sidebar I wanted to make was that, is it just me or does his voice sound weird? Like when he was talking, he's like, everybody's got problems. I was like, what is going on? Maybe he had a breakup, somebody died.
Trying to make him seem. It almost felt like they were trying to make him seem less big and bold and. Okay, you remember in Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire how they had...
I've blocked that movie out of my mind. Don't you ever bring it up again? Sure, yes. I unfortunately remember Spider-Man 3.
All right,
yes.
They had Eddie Brock as this very timid, dainty
petite
person.
Well, I mean, he wasn't timid. He was cocky. He was kind of just like...
Very dainty at the least.
Right, physique and shit. Yeah.
In the Venom trailer with Tom Hardy, they kind of make...
He's more imposing.
Right. Tom Hardy's a bigger guy.
Oh, yeah, he big fuck shit.
Topher Grace would have no...
Oh, my God.
Okay, last one, I'm sorry. Anyways, point being is
sure.
Tom Hardy's got some muscle to him.
Sure.
And I think with that weird voice, they were trying to throw more of like a psychological... smaller statue kind of person. Than what Tom Hardy is actually.
His voice is deceptive of his size
right.
or whatever. Okay.
Right. So like they were kind of playing it off, whereas Eddie Brock is this bigger, bolder kind of a guy, but the Venom is not wanting you to see that side of him. They're wanting you to see like maybe.
Well, I mean, but see, this is the thing. Because they don't show him in the trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's going to look like when the symbiote's on him.
Yeah.
Because if, in the comics, granted, Eddie Brock is kind of like a bigger, stockier dude, but when the symbiote's on him, he's like huge, like big as fuck. So I'm like, is that what they're gonna do in the movie?
Could be.
I don't fucking know. Because they didn't fucking show Venom in the trailer.
No,
okay,
they show Eddie Brock in a MRI machine.
Right, I know. I'm like, what is this? Now, some people have been speculating they're gonna go with his, like, more, like, heroic origins where it's like, oh, there's this storyline in the comic like Lethal Protector,
right,
whatever, where he leaves and goes to San Francisco and becomes like a hero, but he's more of like an anti-hero, kind of a Punisher type where he'll kill motherfuckers, but it's for the right reasons, like Dexter or some shit. And that's whatever. Like, I'm not necessarily, that's not what I want out of a Venom movie.
I don't know if I'm kind of buying into that.
It's kind of, they pull in the Suicide Squad.
Yep.
It's like they trying to have their cake and eat it too. It's like, we're villains, but we're saving the world. And it's like, well, you're not really a villain.
Like, I had good intentions.
Right, it's like, well, we had to. It's like, no, you didn't. It's like, well, they was going to kill us. It's like, yeah, but you would probably die before you'd help them save, whatever the fuck. But who fucking knows? But I don't know. I don't want to see that. I want to see him be an antagonist to Spider-Man.
Right, absolutely.
That's what Venom is. Venom only has one story, and that is the story of... That's the only thing that makes Venom interesting is his relationship to Spider-Man, because the symbiote has been on Peter and with Spider-Man first.
Right.
So when it gets on to Eddie Brock, who already has a vendetta against, Spider-Man, and he finds out he's Peter Parker, it changes the dynamic of that, relationship, and it's a good foil for him because the symbiote was on Peter first. It knows him. It knows that he's Spider-Man. It knows that he's with Mary Jane. It knows his secrets and shit like that.
That
so
makes
much so
the Venom character,
interesting.
So interesting and dangerous.
Exactly, because
especially
so much so to the point.
Peter.
Yes, exactly. So much so to the point that when the symbiote was on Peter, because it was so close to him for so long, his spider sense does not pick up Venom when he tries to attack him because the spider sense doesn't recognize the symbiote as a threat.
Right. It recognizes that's part of him.
Right, exactly. So I'm like, it's just all these dynamics to their, relationship that they could explore. But I'm like, if he's not going to be in fucking movie, then what are we even doing? Like, why are we...
Yeah,
okay, is he even going to have the white emblem of the spider on his chest if he's not... exposed to Spider-Man first? Like, what would even be the point? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's been no mention of any kind of Spider-Man in this Venom movie.
Well, this guy...
From the trailer that we
Sure, and nothing officially has been said.
Right.
Because there's a guy who, he's a reviewer on Collider, and he does, like, documentaries and stuff. He made, The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. I don't know if you ever saw that. But it is a documentary about the Superman movie that Tim Burton was going to make with Nicolas Cage that got canceled, never got off the ground. Yeah, it was after Batman Returns. They was going to make a Superman movie after the Christopher Reeves movies, and it was going to be Nicolas Cage was going to be Superman. And oh god, you gotta look that shit up. It's fucking great. He has the mullet and everything. Oh, it's great. They show like behind the scenes pictures of like them testing like the costume on him and shit. It's fucking.
Oh my god.
It's a train wreck, but it's a beautiful train wreck. You have to see it. But anyway, that's beyond the point. Anyway, the guy's name is John Schnepp. And he's a pretty reliable dude.
Okay.
He said that he has sources that are connected to the movie that Tom Holland was on set and he did film some scenes doing something in the movie.
Okay.
So supposedly Spider-Man will be in this, but he can't be in this long enough for the suit to have been on him.
Right.
So I'm like...
That's going to have to be an implication...
Right.
One of those open-ended, hey, you know this because this is how Venom appears, but we're not going to show you this. Mm-hmm. You just have to rely on what you know. And that's sometimes a dangerous thing if you have, new fans.
Yeah.
If you have new fans that are just like, well, I don't know who Venom is, but that looks like a cool movie. And then they don't understand that Eddie Brock and Spider-Man, or Eddie Brock and Peter Parker. They don't understand the Venom and Spider-Man. They don't understand why there's a spider on his chest, or why he's got this creepy, eerie voice, or why he does anything. They don't understand that.
And this trailer doesn't give you any of that.
No.
Because it's so just like stock footage, generic action movie shit. It's like they keep trying to sell it like, oh, we got Tom Hardy. It's like, yeah, I like Tom Hardy too. Who doesn't? Great. But where the fuck is Venom? What is this movie even about? Now, granted, a lot of people have made the argument, oh, it's a teaser trailer. They're not going to show you Venom. In the Avengers Infinity War teaser trailer, we saw Thanos.
Yep.
We saw Spider-Man in a new suit. We saw Iron Man. We saw the Hulkbuster. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, in the teaser to Iron Man, we saw him in his Iron Man costume.
Yep.
They didn't hide that shit. If the special effects aren't done, which it's funny because the Deadpool trailer came out right before this, and they make a joke in that about the special effects not being done on his arm. So, like, if the special effects aren't done for the Venom trailer, then don't put the fucking shit out until you're ready.
Right. Don't be
you only
baiting us.
Yeah, you only get one chance to make a first impression. No matter what they do in the full trailer, you've already put a bad taste in my mouth about this movie because you didn't give me what I wanted. We don't live in a time anymore where you only saw trailers if you were at home watching TV and a commercial came on, or you saw it in a movie theater.
Right.
A lot of people see this shit online. So when you see the thumbnail and it says Venom trailer, you have an expectation that, oh, this is the Venom movie. I'm going to see Venom in the movie. Especially because the last time we saw him was in Spider-Man 3, and he wasn't done justice there.
No, not by any means.
And I mean, not only just how the character was portrayed, but how the how he looked.
Yeah,
he
didn't look the part. He didn't.
Right. Even when he was in the symbiote, like they tried to just make it a black version of Spider-Man's costume, and it's like, no, he's all black with a big ass white, spider thing. Don't give him webs and all that. It looked weird.
Yeah.
And so we're expecting to see Venom and how he's going to be portrayed in this. Like, I've seen people online say, like, oh, well, if you want to know what Venom looks like, get a comic. And it's like, I know what Venom looks like. I want to see what their interpretation of Venom looks like.
Right.
So don't put out a trailer called Venom and then he's not in the fucking trailer and I just see Tom Hardy having a seizure and shit. There's already been so many memes. 1:16 has become a meme in and of itself. Like a minute and 16 seconds into the trailer is when he's like, ah! And shit. Yeah, and it's like, and that's, and it's already become a, when your mom walks in on you jacking off and you be like, or,
Lord. I can only imagine the things that have spun off of that.
So it's already become, the trailer has already become a meme. It's a joke. I mean, it's so generic and just.
And for those of you watching that don't understand that, when something becomes a meme, it's usually not a good thing.
Yeah, no. Especially, I mean, usually after the fact,
Sure,
you get that first initial, like, wow, that was cool, and then, you start to kind of pick it apart, and like, oh, well, it's silly, and whatever.
Right.
But it's usually in good fun. This is just like, no, this shit is just dumb. Like, now, to be fair, in the trailer, when he is doing that little spaz out thing, you do see, and it's very subtle, and it goes by so quick, and they were doing all these weird edits and cuts during that you can't really tell. But you do see, like, his veins starting to turn black.
Right.
Going up his neck.
Sure.
And then there's a shot where they're, like, opening this truck and you see the symbiote in this container.
Yeah.
But that's it. And it's like, well, okay, I don't expect you to tell me the movie and the plot in the teaser trailer. I don't expect you to give away, the villain necessarily in the teaser trailer, but give me something.
It kind of felt like
nothing told you anything. And in his narration, he's just saying just generic shit. Everybody's got problems. The fuck does that mean? What is this movie about? Like, if I didn't know that Tom Hardy was in this Venom movie, if I didn't see the thumbnail that said Venom,
right?
There's nothing in this to tell me that, except at the very end, when they show the eyes and the mouth and it just says V. And again, if you don't know comic books and shit like that, you have no, just like with you and the Cloverfield monster at the end of Paradox.
Right.
What does that mean to me? I don't know what the fuck that is. Okay. There's some movie coming out called V, babe. I don't know. Let's go see it. Tom Hardy's in it. But, you were going to say something.
I mean, it just goes back to what I was talking about earlier. It opens up to these people that may have not have been comic book people. Sure. And they see a trailer, they're like, oh yeah, that looks cool. They have no idea that it's a whole comic book realm and a comic book theme.
Yeah.
And,
I just get...
The V could be for anything.
Yeah, and I just get mad too when, like, Fox and Sony and shit like that. Granted, they are Marvel properties, but Marvel usually doesn't have anything to do with producing these movies, but they'll still slap that Marvel logo at the beginning.
Oh, sure.
It's like, it came up like Sony, Marvel. It's like, don't put Marvel, don't put this stink of this shit on Marvel. Like, no, they did not co-produce this.
Should just be Sony and then fade to the red.
Right. I'm like, don't. With Spider-Man Homecoming, that was like a joint thing between Sony and Marvel. So I get that.
Right.
But this shit, like, nobody wants this. Like, there's people that are defending the trailer. Oh, this looks so cool. I can't wait. I'm so hyped. This shit is going to be so lit. No. If Spider-Man's not going to be a main character in this, then this should not exist. Period.
Yep.
End of story.
Yep.
But, I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I'm not...
Who was petitioning for this anyways? Like,
I know, it's like somebody...
Who goes out and said, man, I really like Spider-Man villains. I want to see a Venom movie. Who did that?
What's pissing me off is all these fucking people who keep saying, like, oh, I want a Venom movie. Like, Suicide Squad could have been good if they would have tried to do something with it. But they didn't really do anything much with Suicide Squad. And it was just a bad movie in general. But, like, they were talking about making a Joker movie. I don't want to see that fucking shit. I want to see Joker and Batman together. What the fuck is a movie with the Joker without Batman in it.
Right.
Who is he fighting? Who is his villain? What, the Joker versus Killer Croc? Like, what the fuck? Like, we're on BT. Like, whatever. Like, come on, man. Nobody want to see that bullshit. And I mean, I'm sorry. I'm already.
Like, I feel the same with Venom. You know, who wanted to see that?
Exactly. It's like, I don't want to see villain movies. If the only thing that makes these villains interesting is their relationship with the hero.
Exactly.
They are not anything without these characters. So if they're not in it, then I don't fucking care. And I mean, and if you're gonna make Venom the hero of this movie, who is his villain supposed to be? You know, and if Tom Holland, if Spider-Man will be in this, or Peter Parker as a cameo, whatever the fuck is supposed to happen, then does Venom know Peter? Are they going to interact? Does that have any bearing on what happens in this movie? No, probably fucking.
I guess we'll have to wait for a different trailer.
I don't know, but I do want to say straight up, it's bullshit to say that they shouldn't have shown him in the teaser trailer, because yes, they should. You see Optimus Prime in the teaser to Transformers. You see Iron Man in his teaser. You see the Hulk in his.
You see Chris Pratt in the new Jurassic World trailer.
Right. Yes, they show the dinosaurs. They show the park. Even in the first Jurassic Park, you see
whatever.
Yeah, the dinosaurs. Like, man, this ain't Jaws, man. You ain't trying to hide this shit. Like Venom, hopefully he will be in the symbiote, and it will be a part of him for a good chunk of the movie. So why are you hiding it?
Right.
I'm like, again, if the special effects ain't done, then don't put out the goddamn trailer. Or just put out, you couldn't get one shot. Like, even if it, you know how they do that shit where they'll, like, at the very end, they'll, like, kind of flash real quick, you know, on an image or something in a trailer. It'll be just like, dun, 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 and like, this summer, you know, whatever.
Right.
They could have did that, so then that way we could have seen Venom, even if the special effects weren't fully polished.
Right.
And it just gave us a glimpse, and that'd have been enough to be like, oh, that was dope, you know, like, I seen him.
And that's coming out this year, isn't it?
It's coming out in fucking October.
Okay, so...
And they were filming this shit, I feel like, in the fall of last year. Like, the turnaround of this movie is really fast. That's another red flag for me. Not only does it just look generic and no personality, but I just feel like the production got wrapped up really fast, and it's coming out really fast.
Well, it kind of reminds me of that first Hulk movie that came out.
Yeah.
That was that weird comic booky,
the
flashy.
Angly Hulk.
That was awful.
Yeah. The Incredible Hulk was a lot better, but it didn't make a lot of money,
The Incredible Hulk was better. But I have a feeling that when movies wrap up production real quickly,
that's not a good sign.
They've got that cheesy element to them.
Yeah, yes. It doesn't feel polished. It doesn't feel finished. It feels chintzy.
It feels like
cheap.
Yeah. It feels like they just said, yeah, we're gonna go with this, and then they had a budget of, I don't know, $100,000 or whatever, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna make it work.
Right. I got $20 and a bridge card, so let's
go
make a movie. Now, for those of you who may not know, bridge card is, you know, like government food stamps. Yeah, that's universal term, right? Food stamps. Everybody knows food stamps.
Yeah.
Right? Sure. Okay.
SNAP, EBT, whatever you want to call it.
Right. Whatever.
I think it has a different name in each state.
Right. Whatever social program your state supports with your tax dollars. Yeah. All that shit. Okay. All right. So we oh god, we've been running long. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Okay. So yay or nay for Venom?
I mean, I'm probably gonna see it just because that's who I am. I see superhero movies. Whether I like it or not, I'll let you know after I walk out of the theater. Yeah,
like I said, I'm gonna watch it out of morbid curiosity, and because now that I'm doing the show, I fucking kind of have to.
Well, that, and you know, you are Superman, Spider-Man.
You
Spider-Man.
You better put some respect on his name.
Spider-Man fan. I'm sorry, I had a slip of the tongue. Yeah, it's been happening a lot lately.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I mean, I'll give it a chance. I'm trying to be optimistic about it, but it looks like some fucking bullshit. Okay. Last one. Okay, real quick, the Mission Impossible 6 trailer, what'd you think?
It's another Mission Impossible.
I know, right?
I mean,
it's all right. Moving on. Nope, we're done.
That's all. I
another
gotta
Mission
say.
Impossible. Well, oh, okay. Real quick.
Tom Cruise is.
What about Henry Cavill? Superman. He's in it. What? No. Do you like him as? How do you?
I'm indifferent.
Yeah, I mean, I like him a little bit more now after Justice League.
Yeah.
He seems more like.
Justice League was
citizen,
better,
you know, up and away and that kind of shit. Like I
Man
want
of
him
Steel was boring.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I don't want my Superman to have to be taking antidepressants and shit.
Right.
Like, I don't want him to be all mopey. And,
I don't know. The Mission Impossible thing, he should have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah.
Tom
But you know what, though? Be glad
trying.
that he keeps making these movies because he was almost Iron Man. Before they got Robert Downey Jr., Tom Cruise was in talks for a long time to be Iron Man.
I would have watched Iron Man and walked out. And I don't walk out of very many movies.
Well, and not only that, but Brad Pitt was supposed to be Cable in Deadpool 2 before they ended up going with Josh Brolin. I think Brad Pitt decided not to do it, or maybe he had a scheduling conflict or something, but for whatever reason, he didn't end up doing it.
Well,
but they wanted him to be Cable.
Thank God for that, because...
Boy, Brad Pitt's awesome.
I love Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Let me defend myself here.
Okay.
But
all right.
Brad Pitt does not do...
If you say he don't do good in action movies...
No, he does good in action movies.
Okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, oh my God.
I was going to say that and Troy and
amazing.
What was the zombie movie that he was in? It's the only zombie movie he's ever been in.
I don't know. I don't watch zombie movies.
Z for Zombies or...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I don't think it was called.
No, it was
World War Z. Yes, that's the one.
See?
Yes.
I
Z
like...
for Zombies.
I like Brad Pitt in action movies.
Sure.
But I just don't think that... I don't think he's a superhero kind of...
Yeah, you know, and I talked about this with my issue with Ben Affleck being Batman, is that it's hard for me to see him as Batman because all I can see is Ben Affleck dressed up like Batman.
Right,
You know, I can't see past that.
He's a great actor, but not necessarily for the part.
Right. Somebody who's a little less exposed to me would do better. That's why Christian Bale and Michael Keaton kind of slipped in so good because...
You had me halfway there.
Wait, where?
You had me with Keaton.
Okay.
Keaton
You know
awesome.
Christian Bale as Batman? I mean...
No.
The Batman voice aside.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
We can go into a whole nother show about that.
Yeah, okay.
Because...
Yeah, let's get Mission Impossible trailer.
Impossible.
Yes. I'm like, we are in DC now and all
I probably will not see Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen the last couple.
I didn't see the last one either, and I mean the one before the last one.
I think this is the one he broke his arm in.
Yeah, his foot.
Last one.
His foot. He broke his foot in this one, and they show it in the trailer. The scene where he jumps to the wall. Right. Yeah, they only shot that the one time.
Yep, because he broke his foot. And he was out for like 6 weeks.
Oh, I saw that.
6 months or something. Whatever.
I saw it in slow motion, and his foot went. Oh, it looks nasty.
Yep. No.
Yeah. So but I mean,
I'm not gonna see it. I really don't think.
But that soundtrack is dope still, though.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack that'll be awesome.
Like I still want to just listen to it now. It's gonna be stuck in my head. Okay. Anyway.
Send it to you as your ringtone.
Right. And then the very last thing. This is gonna be just light speed shit. I guess I should have lumped in Mission Impossible with that because I didn't have a lot to say about that.
Fair enough.
The Tide ads.
People, please stop eating Tide Pods.
Right, public service announcement. Yes.
I know teenage
why we
children.
have to tell you this.
Yes, I know teenage children, and I would like to not see them do stupid things. Yes. So please stop eating Tide Pods.
For the love of God.
They are not food.
For the love of God, please stop. Like, please.
They are soap.
If you take nothing else from this, please stop eating Tide Pods. But that aside.
Right. Tide commercial.
Tide has realized, and they are taking this to heart, that bad press is still good press. All press is good press.
Of course.
Because even though they are dealing with the dilemma of, people being fucking dumb and deciding to eat, laundry detergent.
Comes
They are
from all
taking
those
that.
years where our parents used to wash our mouths.
Right. Gave us a taste. You may be on to something. Thanks, Mom. You did this to me. Yeah, no, they've taken them being in the news and people talking about them so much, and they kind of are riding this wave of attention. And they're like, we should put out an ad, during the Super Bowl. I mean, not to say that they're the first detergent company to put an ad out during the Super Bowl. It's just not common to see, soap,
Not
laundry
usually.
stuff during the Super Bowl. Like,
No.
for as much as it costs for ads during
Oh
the Super Bowl,
God, millions.
it's usually like prescription drug companies or like cars or
Beer,
a movie or
pizza.
something, beer, pizza, stuff like that, food and shit that people who probably are watching the game are consuming while they're watching the game. That was really
Product
random.
placements for most male.
Yeah.
Most males.
Pretty much, yeah.
And
But this was so against the grain and so out of the ordinary. It was fascinating. But I am convinced that this commercial is genius, and it has literally hacked and broken commercials going forward forever.
of course, because you're always going to be sitting there wondering, is this really a Tide commercial?
Yes,
or is this a
exactly.
commercial for something else?
Exactly.
So
like
you've got
it's
the
ingenious.
inception of
Yes.
the inception of all commercials. You're like,
They've planted that seed so deeply, and it was smart too, because not only did they have the one long ad, but they kept having like small broken up versions of it sprinkled throughout the rest of the Super Bowl, so it kept reinforcing that idea that they've already put into your mind that, tax commercial, nope, Tide ad. Smoking commercial, nope, Tide ad. Antidepressants, nope, Tide ad. And it's like, wow, like if they have clean clothes, so anytime there's a person, they're obviously going to be dressed most of the time, wearing something.
we would hope.
Clothes or just, I don't know, curtains in the background, sheets, towels, anything. You could always be like, oh, it's clean, so it must be a Tide ad. Like, it's like whoever came up with that needs the ultimate raise. They should be like the CEO of all marketing for everything everywhere, because that shit. And I don't even I could care less about the Tide Pod Challenge. I could care less about, just Tide in general. I just use whatever fuck is cheap enough, when I go to the grocery store.
Gains.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have a preference or anything like that. But
some people do. They've got that brand loyalty. That
Mountain Breeze bitches and nothing else. Nothing but the best.
Tropical sunshine. Anyways.
Yeah. But no,
I agree. Especially after some of the crazy, stupid commercials that we had last year in the Super Bowl.
They always try to do something crazy to make it stick, and
Puppy
none
Baby
of them.
Monkey.
Oh God, I almost forgot about that one. Oh God, I don't even know what they were trying to sell with that shit. All I know is they gave me nightmares with that shit.
I think it was a Mountain Dew commercial.
Puppy Baby Monkey. Puppy Baby Monkey. Oh God, I hated that shit. I was like, what? This is nightmare fuel. What is this? Stop. No.
Yeah.
It was so disturbing. Or just all kind of random weird shit.
Yeah, it's nice to see that we actually still have some creative people in marketing nowadays. Mm-hmm. And we have some people that are like, hey, let's make an intelligent commercial that'll leave people wondering, not people that are looking at this weird puppy with a baby face, something like that, I mean,
right. Yeah, no.
Out of everything that's come out of 2018 so far, Tide Pod Challenge, burning your arm on the stove thing, whatever, just all the stupid shit that's come from 2018 so far, and we're only on the 10th day of February.
Yep.
God help us.
Yep.
Somebody help us. Anyways.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that there's some kind of a creative team that's like, hey, let's engage our people and make them think, not just give them stupid lyrics to dance around to.
Or some just weird thing with the Colonel being extra crispy because he's tan and shit. Just all this other weird shit where it's just like, yeah, it's funny and it kind of sticks around for a while, but I mean, not to the level that this is done. Like, this was some, Ivy League, thinking that came behind this.
Yep, I'm with you on that.
But I mean,
It was a nice thing to see.
Yeah, it was really awesome, and I mean, congratulations, Tide. You guys did it. You broke ads forever.
Kudos. Well, it'll always be in the back of our minds,
Mm-hmm.
and whether you use Tide or not,
you'll always
be
about
like,
it
hey.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that thing. There's a term for it, and I don't know what it's called, but there's a term for when you call products or you call products by a brand name as opposed to what they are.
Right.
Like instead of people calling bandages, they call them band-aids.
Right.
You know, like stuff like that. Instead of face tissue, you call it Kleenex.
Right.
You know, so like that kind of stuff.
They remember that brand name.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
and it kind of morphs into the definition of what the product is.
Right. Exactly. It's like so. There could come a time where we never say detergent or laundry soap or something. We just, give me the Tide, and it can be any kind of brand, but everybody might just call it Tide now.
Well, I mean, they kind of have that now with certain things. In Louisiana, they call Coke a Coke.
Right.
They also call a Dr. Pepper a Coke and a Sprite a Coke.
Right.
So if you go to a restaurant and you say, hey, I want a Coke, well, they ask you what kind.
It's like vanilla Coke? I don't know, cherry Coke? What are you...
For someone who had never been to that part of the country, you're looking at him like, what the hell is this person talking about? For a native of somebody, certain area, Louisiana, for example, they're just like, it's a Coke.
Right.
It's Tide. What kind? It's...
Yeah, no, everything is going to be Tide now. And then we're all going to be putting Tide on our pizzas and, all kind of shit. We're going to, have Tide toothpaste and...
Public service announcement again, do not eat Tide.
Yeah, please don't.
Don't eat the soap. It is bad for you.
No. Please.
Causes internal injuries.
Yes, please do not eat.
Makes you look stupid.
Tide pods. You eat the Clorox pods. No.
Oh, no, yeah.
Bleach.
No. If you buy it in a laundry aisle, you probably should not put it in your mouth. Just safe, forewarning there.
You know what? Those are words to live by. I think we should go out on that note. That is a perfect ending. Take those words with you, children, and go out into the world and do great things with them. I want to thank you for doing this with me. This was really fun.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
No,
hopefully,
thank you. You got to sit in here and talk to me about geeky shit. And
it's cool.
Totally.
I enjoy geeky shit. You know this. It kind of works well.
No. You definitely turned me on to a bunch of stuff, and I have actually a much more of appreciation for Batman now because of you.
Oh, well.
Because I liked Batman, but I mean, you've made me appreciate the Bats more. And I was like, you would be a good person to do this with me. Plus, like I said, I still haven't quite come out of the closet to everybody yet that I'm doing a podcast. So I have limited people I can approach to record with me. I feel like I'm, in like the Underground Railroad. It's like, shh, don't tell them.
You're on the dark web.
They can't know. Yeah, right. Oh God, don't say that. I'm gonna list somewhere. I don't know what. I've never torrented anything. I don't know what the dark web is. I don't know what a Tor browser or a VPN or any of those acronyms.
I'm gonna say you just spouted off way more than I know.
Yeah, it's like, you fucking told me yourself.
That's it. But no, I appreciate being here. It was really nice. I don't have very many people that I can kind of spitball this stuff with.
See, yay. See,
one
we are Venom.
Step.
See, symbiote. See,
yep.
we the parasitic relationship.
Damn, I don't know about that.
You can be my Cloverfield termite monster things.
No.
No. Okay,
no.
Bad analogy. All right.
No. How about we just be two geeky people that are taking one step and.
Sure. All right. And I mean, and totally do this again. I mean,
absolutely. Anytime.
Awesome. See, you guys heard it. We got to hold her to it now. So guilt trip anytime. We can't you said. No.
I mean, I'm a woman of my word, so I don't really go on saying things that I don't mean.
Okay. Good. No, no, I do appreciate this though. No, this was really fun, and I did not expect this to go as well as it did. We probably rambled a lot, but I mean, gotta get a rhythm going for these things. You
Yeah.
know, it's how it goes.
I mean, in comparison to what previous shows,
Yeah, right. Where I was just talking to myself the whole time. Yeah,
I'm sure it was more entertaining.
yeah. Which I mean, I entertain myself. I mean,
Well,
who doesn't like to hear me talk? But you know.
that's neither here nor there. They don't know you out there just yet, so we'll have to keep working with that. But
Yeah, yeah. But no, that's it, guys. That's it for this week's episode. Go ahead, leave likes, follows, subscribes, comments, all those good things that social media requires you to do.
follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Yes, yes, yes. On Twitter, it is at Giant Leap, the number 4 Geeks, and on Facebook, YouTube, uh, SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts, I am probably there. So just look for One Giant Leap for Geeks, and you will find us. See you guys next time.
Bye.
I mean, like some UFC, WWE type shit. I mean, they power bombing motherfuckers through parking garages. I mean, they spinning motherfuckers through skyscrapers and shit. I mean, just tearing shit the fuck up. I mean, the people who complained about the collateral damage in Man of Steel, Jesus Christ, you see this shit, your fucking head is gonna explode.